Hey there, and welcome to this episode of Consciousness Fucking Empowerment. Here we talk about consciousness, the law of attraction, and how to reach your fucking dreams. All right, so today I'm going to talk about one of the stories in Neville Goddard's book, Power of Awareness. The fourth story, it's another great story. Another great story. I see why Neville put these in the stories part of the book, because you have the denial of the senses, almost complete denial, like, bruh, you ain't getting this. If you're thinking from just like the physical and you don't realize that you can create your reality from the inside out, mind out. Man, have so much to offer you, so much to give you. So this was going to be a good one. Okay, before we get started, be ready to learn and be open-minded and apply. If you don't apply this stuff, you're not going to see any changes in your life. Number two, okay, if you're struggling right now with a thought, you want to be here, but you're struggling with thoughts that are limiting you, say next, okay? Next. Any thought that comes into your fucking mind that you don't like, you don't have to entertain it. Just say next. I like to go like this. It's just what I like to do because it's just like a command. You know, I go like this, I'm commanding myself. Like I say, it is done. So I say next. It's a command. And you go on to the next thought, which is usually just your present, okay? Your present moment. And you're back on whatever plane you were on, right? Because as you open your eyes, you're either on the plane of the physical, of the senses, or if you're in your mind, you say next, and you're in the darkness, or you're creating something, you're seeing something. Okay. And sometimes movement helps to create. You know, you can move. You could be standing up, closing your eyes, and imagining. You don't always have to be relaxed. Okay. Like meaning not moving. Okay, not moving. You don't always have to be not moving. You can be standing up. Number two, be ready to be the highest version of yourself. Okay. Do not limit yourself. Do not limit yourself. If your heart truly desires a certain car, but you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna manifest this other one just I think it's possible. The other one I don't think is possible. You know what? This is what I did. Go to the dictionary and cross out impossible. Cross out impossible. If you can think something, you can have it. This is what we're talking about right here. Okay. So take out the word impossible. Okay. It actually should say I am possible. It's only possible if you do it from within. In. Okay, in, and possible. I looked up the root word in, and I am. It means from within, okay, or something that cannot be something that can't happen, right? So vice versa. Either or, within, okay, or not possible. But if you can think it, you can have it. All right. So now that you made those decisions, let's get fucking started. All right. And this story, it's about a woman who went to one of the conferences, one of the oh shit. I just got like a vision of me doing these conferences too. For free. Because Neville would do them for free too. He wouldn't charge or anything. And she told a story at the end of the conference, at the end of the presentation of the law of assumption. She's like, I think her niece or granddaughter, okay, said, let me find out. I don't want to be wrong. Said, yeah, we manifested her husband not going out to war, because this is around World War II. So that happened, and she explained how she did it. It wasn't your typical relaxed state, lay down, sit down, relaxed method. Okay, Oh, so she was the aunt, and she was the niece. The niece had called her, crying and saying, "Oh, my husband's going to war. We thought he was gonna stay in Florida, but to be an instructor, but he's not." Okay, so she was feeling down about it. Yeah, so he was gonna go to Europe instead of Florida, and it was already set. The orders were set. So she said, "Quote: The aunt stated that there was only one thing to do, and that was to apply immediately the law of assumption. Let's actualize it," she said. And now here's an important thing that I wrote down too. Okay, important fucking things. I did this morning for one of my goals that I'm manifesting. Okay. There's a question. Okay. There's a question that you must ask that will help you with the visualizing process. Okay. If you were actually, enter your goal. If you actually had your desire now, okay, if you had that amount of money, money and that freedom and that independence, okay, what would you do? What would you see? What would you do? Okay, what would you do and see? Okay, and it'll be linked to your other goals, because when I said that, what would I see and what would I do? I saw myself doing certain things that are linked to my other goals. But now see it for yourself. If you were actually, earning that amount of money, feeling free, if you were actually healthy, strong, or that physique, maybe you're already healthy, maybe you just want a physique, you want to look a certain way. What if you were already looking that way? What would you see? What would you do? Okay. Love, right? If you were in that relationship already, if you were in that intimate relationship already, what would you see? What would you do? Okay. In the already desired state, not wanting to be it. So if you want a car, for example, you don't stand outside from the windowsill or from the outside or just looking at it. No, you already have it. You're driving it already. People are congratulating you. You're driving people, maybe family, friends, in the car, and you're going somewhere. Okay. Love, wealth, health, and happiness, or the perfect self-expression. That's what Florence Scovel says. She says those are the square of life. The square of life. Love, wealth, health, and happiness. You can have it all. You can have it all. And somebody was saying recently, I think it was an actor. I can't recall his name, but I want to recall his name. Will Smith. He said once you can have everything you want to buy and you've bought it, it doesn't fulfill you, because then you want something else, something else, something else, something else. The feeling is within. You can have it right fucking now, what it is that you want. And your manifestation is coming because you're like, I don't even want to visualize anymore. I feel it already. Like, I have it. Like, and then you start thinking that way. Start acting that way. You start acting like the person. So when I was in prison, I would visualize it over and over and over again and over and over and over again, right? I was still fucking around when I first got in prison because I was still fucking around with other guys, just bullshitting. And I wasn't really locked in studying and reading books and expanding my vocabulary and writing essays. Because I was still the old person, but visualizing it over and over and over again. I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta start acting like this person. Now let's transition into the next part. It's part of the manifestation process, okay? So that after you've asked yourself these questions, if you were actually fill in the blank already, what would you do? What would you see? Okay, what would you do? You would for them because she wanted to go to Florida. The niece wanted to go to Florida. You would feel the warm breeze. You would smell the salt air, right? You would feel your toes sinking down into the sand. Well, let's do that right now, right? So that was the ant speaking. If you were actually in Florida, what would you do? Question mark. Would you feel you would feel the warm breeze. You would smell the salt air. You would feel your toes sinking down into the sand. Well, let's do that right now. Well, let's do all that right now, is what she actually said. Quote, they took off their shoes and turning out the lights, in imagination, they felt themselves actually in Florida, feeling the warm breeze, smelling the air, pushing their toes into the sand. Okay. So this is what he wrote. They took off their shoes and turning out the lights. In imagination, they felt themselves actually in Florida, feeling the warm breeze, smelling the sea air, pushing their toes into the sand. Okay, so on my mind, I'm seeing them turn off the lights. So I have a light right here. So I would presume this is the only light. They said, okay, let's do it right fucking now. All right. Turned off the lights. And I'm sure the niece, if she didn't know the law of assumption, she's like, all right, let's do it because what else is she going to do, right? It's already been ordered. Turn off the lights. Dark. They're standing. Okay. And now, in their imagination, right? Her eyes could have been closed or her eyes could have been open. It's complete darkness, okay? Complete darkness. And you can still imagine with your eyes open. So the moment you say, what would I see? X, you start seeing it. All right. What would I see if I had an X? X is your desire. So they began in imagination, feeling themselves in Florida, feeling the warm breeze, smelling the sea air, and pushing their toes into the sand. 48 hours later, the husband received a change of orders. His new instructions were to report immediately to Florida as an Air Force instructor. 5 days later, his wife was on a train to join him, while the aunt, in order to help her niece to attain her desire, joined in with the niece in assuming the state of consciousness required. She did not go to Florida. That was not her desire. On the other hand, that was the intense desire of the niece. Oh, okay. I'm going to repeat that again because maybe I said it a little bit awkwardly. While the aunt, in order to help her niece to attain her desire, joined in with the niece in assuming the state of consciousness required. She did not go to Florida. That was not her desire. On the other hand, that was the intense longing of the niece. Okay. So she didn't manifest it. She wasn't really thinking about it. There's always an intense desire that we want, right? The moment we switch it is when we assume it to be true by feeling it to be true, okay? That's why I love the saying, if you're manifesting something, you're thinking something negative, just say next, okay? And you know what you're attracting is when it's something good, when you feel good. And you know you're manifesting your desire when you feel good, you know? You're attracting the good. You're attracting your good, okay? Not the bad or the negative, right? Nothing's good or bad. It's just everything is what it is. If you look at it just from the consciousness, just is what it is. But I like this quote. There is nothing to fear but the feeling of fear itself. Okay, there's nothing to fear but the feeling of fear itself. I know there's one similar to a president, a U.S. president or somebody. There's a president who says something like that. If you know, comment below. Let me know which one it is. But I created that one, or I formulated that one in those words because my dating coach, he said, if you're coming in scared, she's gonna be scared. If you're coming in happy, she's gonna be happy. If you're coming in sexual, she's gonna be sexual. If you're coming in just joyful and fun and sexual, she's gonna become she'll respond that way, coming joyful, fun and sexual. What you project out is what you get back. So if you're approaching life with fear, you're gonna get it. If you're projecting life with goodness and gratitude, you're gonna get it. Okay, so that's why it's a good saying. Nothing's outside of you. Everything is here. Everything is right here. Okay. So that's the quote that I like to use. If you like it, use it. The only thing to fear is the feeling of fear itself. And another one is what you put out, you get back. Whatever's going on outside is because you're having conversations in your mind about that. So you're having problems with people. You're having negative conversations with them. So just watch the thoughts. And if you don't like the thought, say next and reformulate it. That's why House of Vibrations, I think her name is Bobby. I found out. Bobby says, when you're in that state, just go in a rampage, quote unquote rampage. You just keep on saying a bunch of affirmations. Just say them over and over and over and over and over again. Have a list of affirmations, say them over and over and over and over again. And then you get back into the state of that you desire. A lot of times when we've been programmed with these states, and as we're becoming liberated and we are opening our consciousness, we're becoming aware and present and alive, all right, and enjoying life now, because in the ever present now is joyful. It's joyful. Okay. Now, the aunt helped her manifest. She didn't manifest it for herself because it wasn't something she wanted, okay? She saw her niece there, okay? It was for her niece, okay? To aid her in her feeling of the wish fulfilled. It wasn't her desire. She wasn't holding and harboring that thought. The niece was. She was harboring it for a long time. She thought she was going to go there for a while. And the switch was she felt that she was there already. Not that she wanted to. Not that she was like calling to find out if she got it. She was already there, right? She wasn't getting a phone call. Hey, we got accepted. No, she was already there. Couple events passed. So think of couple events past of your goal achieved, right? If you have the car, you don't visualize yourself signing papers at a dealership. You see yourself already with the car, driving it, or at a car wash, and the guy is saying, "Hey man, nice car," because you got a new car. So you're your typical guy who you talk to, you see there saying, "Hey man, nice car." And what else? So it's a couple of events down. I feel like I have something in my mouth. Probably one of my hairs from my beard. It happens sometimes. Yeah, you ever find eyelashes in your cups? I find that sometimes. Like, man, there's an eyelash in there. How did that get in there? I'm wearing glasses. But I digress. Let me see if I mentioned anything else. Your heart is your guidance system. Okay, your heart is your guidance system. See, I'm feeling deep breaths, so I'm bringing in calmness and whatever I want to manifest into my life, because my breath is an indicator of my state of mind, and vice versa. The law of reversibility. Okay, my state of mind also creates my physical. Right, vice versa. You can use both of them. You can say I'm confident, and your body's gonna be like boom, it's gonna turn confident. Or you could just stretch your body out and say I'm confident, and you're gonna start feeling confident. See, action could create a feeling and a state of mind, right? An attitude, okay, and an attitude, a state of mind could create a feeling and a physical change. Vice versa. If you know the law, okay, if you know how to use the law to your benefit, Okay, but it's always within, without. To create from source, to create from God, it's within, without. Okay. Now, these are just tools that I'm showing you to change your vibration, to help you change them. Okay. And it's all you. Okay. Extend your arms, head up, confidence. Deep breaths. Extend your stomach and push it in. Relaxation. So these are the elements of the story, and I'm going to wrap it up. Complete denial of the senses. Somebody says, hey, the government, the army says, hey, man, you're going over here, or whatever, whatever authority tells you, hey, man, you're going over here, or what have you. So you're like, all right, okay, denial of the senses. Let's assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. But this must be a burning desire for you, something that you really want, all right? I don't have to worry about that because I know you want what it is that you want, and truly want it. And, okay, what are you seeing? Okay, what would you do now that you have it? Now that you have achieved your goal? Okay, what would you do? What would you have? What would you see? Okay, let's quote Neville Goddard. He says, what would you do? If you were actually in Florida, what would you do? Okay, what would you do? If you already achieved your goal, if you already achieved it, you already have it, it's done, what would you do? Okay, then act it out. Okay. It doesn't go into detail in the book, but act it out right now. You turn off the lights, or in your imagination, act it out in your imagination, or you can act it out physically. Like I just mentioned, you can act and you'll get a feeling in the mind. If you do something, you'll get a feeling in the mind. Well, I'm not making this stuff up. It's like this happening in harmony. Okay. It's happening in harmony. Like, I don't mean I'm making this stuff up. I mean, I'm not planning how to say this. It's just coming in harmony. Okay. And then it'll manifest. Okay. Now the question is essential. I think these are all important things, these elements. But the question is a very, very high importance. Okay. And then you acting it out in imagination or physically. All right. Let me say it again. Write them down. If you have a notebook, write it down. If you were actually in Florida, what would you do? If you were actually already earning that amount of money and you're financially free or financially independent, what have you, if you want to be your own business owner, be your own boss, what would you do? What would you do? Okay. If you want to travel the world, okay. If you already traveled the world, okay. If you were already in Florida, right? If you already traveled the world, what would you do? Right? Probably frame up pictures of your travels. Wow, my stomach just growled. I don't know if you heard it. If you were already married, if you already had that girlfriend, what if you were already dating, had multiple girlfriends? What would you do? What would you see? If you were healthy, or you had that physique, or both, healthy and had the physique, what would you do? What would you see? Would you be wearing the clothing, the gym clothing? Would you look like a gym rat? And no disrespect, I don't mean, when I say gym rat, I don't mean disrespecting anybody. I know people use it that way. You're a gym rat. Oh, that guy's a gym rat. The tonality. No, but I'm a gym rat. You know what I mean? I'm a gym enthusiast. I used to be a personal trainer, actually. And I have a few books and programs for people who want to be trained. But I digress on that. So here I'm talking about the law of assumption and the law of attraction, the laws of the universe. Okay. If you want to achieve that trophy, okay, and you already have it now, okay. If you already have it now, what would you do? Were you actually already in Florida? If you were actually already that champion, that person who got that award, what would you do? What would you see if it already happened? Remember, a few events down the road. I hope you liked this one. Comment below what resonated, what helped you. And if somebody came to mind, share it with them, okay? Share it with somebody you deeply fucking love, okay? I love you. Until next time, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.